Welcome to the fourth video for Chapter 1. In this video, we're going to be talking about outlooks on the criminal justice system and strategies for combating crime. And I wanted to break these two areas down for you and offer you a little bit of insight to them, more than I feel that the book really does. So when we talk about social justice and civil justice, gosh, those just seem like they could be confusing terms. So I put the definitions in here. They're also in the announcement area so that you can look at them in greater detail. But the whole idea that when we talk about social justice, we've been touching on this quite a bit. We talked about procedural justice, procedural fairness, due process. Now we're talking about social justice. And the whole concept of social justice and all these other terms all wrapped together. And the whole idea is equal access. You got a fair shot. You're not being held back for any of the reasons that are listed under the discriminatory laws. And, we're talking race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, any physical handicaps with the ADA laws. The idea is that everybody should have a fair shot based on merit, their abilities, their drive, their passion, their ability to succeed should not be based on something that they don't have control over, such as the color of their skin, or whether they're a male or a female, or choose to identify as one when biologically they were born the other. That's the idea of social justice. Now, civil justice, it's a component, it's part of social justice. And that's when we're talking not on the criminal end, but on the civil end. And that's the relationships between people. And it's more in the private matters. Now, it's where the criminal law hasn't been violated, or a criminal law hasn't been violated, but there's something outside of the criminal law. As an example, neighbors that have disagreement about property lines, they would go to civil court, and they're not going to end up in a criminal court unless one of them hurt the other, in which case a crime has been committed. Remember, crimes are either commissions or omissions, something that you do, you commit, or something that you fail to do, omit. So that's kind of the breakdown between social justice and civil justice. The other thing I want to talk about is crime fighting strategies. Boy, I tell you what, there's rarely anything. There used to be a standing joke, or not a joke, guideline. If you went to a party, you didn't discuss religion, politics, or abortion. Well, now we don't discuss vaccines and mask mandates. And let's just toss in criminal justice as a topic to not discuss, because you're going to have people with all sorts of opinion. We should rehabilitate people when they're in jail. We should lock them away and throw away the key, and rehabilitation doesn't work. We should pour all the money that we spend on prison systems into education and prevention, and then we wouldn't need the prison systems. We're always going to have bad people, so we always need the prisons. It doesn't matter how much you educate people. They're smarter about not getting caught. All sorts of different outlooks. When we look at what's the best way to fight crime, we've been struggling with that in this country for decades, and I'm going to argue centuries. And the latest thing is, well, can you prove what we're doing works? In other words, has it been scientifically tested? Is it research based? Have you done research on what you're doing to see if it works or whether it doesn't work? There's been a lot of different studies, and these are challenging. So I put a PDF in the resources area, and I put a link to it in the Chapter 1 module. I would not recommend reading the entire thing, okay? But you can just take a look at it, just glance at it if you want to. It's not testable. And I'm not going to ask you any questions on the test, but if you want to understand better about evidence-based practices, it's challenging to do. But I want you to understand that when they've been scientifically tested, they're based on social science research, then they're called evidence-based practices. Just know that part and you're solid, good to go. I'm just letting you know, evidence-based practices are really hard to come by. There's actually a law that was passed, federal law in 96 that said, hey, if you're going to get federal funding from the DOJ, you got to prove that what you're doing is scientifically tested. You have research on it. Boy, that was a pipe dream, because getting that, it's really hard. And the PDF that I put in there explains why it's so difficult. That's it for this video. See you soon. Bye.